There is a guy on YouTube and also Twitter, not going to mention his name, but basically he says this guy, Mr. Mao, Mad Mao, Dictator Mao, Mao Zedong, the first chairman of the People's Republic of China, he said, made China great again. But this guy did absolutely sweet FA. During his reign as emperor, during his reign as a dictator of a huge country, tried to and failed miserably with two big things in his reign as the king of China, so to speak. The first one was the Great Leap Forward, and a lot of people say this is the Great Leap Backwards, where he copied Soviet Russia or tried to copy Soviet Russia and failed miserably. The other one was the Cultural Revolution. Now, if you ask any young person in China about their grandparents, and sometimes they'd be quite happy to tell what life was really like in the 60s and the 70s, before the 80s, when China did start to develop after Mao. You would say the president of the short guy, President Dao, I think his name was the person who started to make China wealthy and rich. He had the quote saying, "Let's make China rich, let's all be rich together." Mao did nothing only apart from his own wealth. You can see from here. During his reign, Mao Zedong, as the emperor of China, millions of people died of starvation. Let's make China great again? No. This is the whole thing. If you think of Japan and Korea, that had similar kind of difficulties after World War II and the Korean War. They developed rapidly, and by the 1980s, they were like tier one cities, near enough in Asia, on par with, you could say, Singapore, for example, or maybe Hong Kong. But China was held back by 30 years by Mao Zedong. Westerners and even people like myself who've lived in Asia for a long time find it very difficult to believe what Mao did for the country. He did nothing, basically. He didn't improve it. In fact, it was worse than the time when it was the Republic of China, where they had difficulties as well. Making the question, why would anyone think that Mao was a great guy? Yep, he did win the civil war between the People's Republic of China and the Republic of China, makes him a good leader in a way of army, but how to make the country great again economically, he had no idea at all. If you ever go to the Forbidden City or the area around Tiananmen Square, there is a picture of Mao saying that he is the father of modern China. And granted, yeah, he is. He was like the first president of the People's Republic of China, the first chairman, the first general secretary, whatever you want to call him. And he ruled for such a long time. Xi Jinping is a big fan of him and follows his same kind of thing, that Xi Jinping wants to be emperor as well. He's been now in power since 2013, so that's getting close to like 13 years now. And I think he wants to be the king for life, thinking of himself, not thinking of the country. Mao, you could say, maybe he did try, but he failed miserably. So anyone who thinks that he made China great again is obviously misread, misunderstands, and the concept of Mao and what he did wrong. I'm not too sure if you're just doing it for clicks on YouTube or propaganda, but if you face the facts and the reality of how Mao was, well, basically, he was the Chinese Muppet. He was useless at being the king or the boss of the country. And it was only in the 1980s, after his death, that's when China became a more developed country, not through him, through the other presidents who made the China a lot better than it was during the Cultural Revolution. Thank you very much for your time. The truth is always out there.